Been a while, but here we go. Let's walk through these doors. No one to bump into. What time to return to class. Always a little dark. I'm not gonna waste electricity and turn the lights on, but this place misses you, regardless if you miss it or not. But one last time, let's go through this door. It's not gonna look the same, but this is it. So hi, this is your view. Karen, Litzy, Maya, Alyssa, Sean, back in your first period spot. Christian, Anna, Mariah, Lexi, Elizabeth and Johnny, you're over at your table. This is what you saw every day. Julia, Ashley, and Alyssa, the best 3 students ever, right? And Zayden and George. Welcome back to class. And here we have some of the best kids at this table, like Rashid, all by yourself. Here's your view. Jennifer and a third adopted Jennifer named Melanie. Luz, Eric, Aremi, Carla, and 6th period. This table was just all alone. Welcome back to class. All right, right front and center. Back in the room, Daniela, Maraka, Emily and Kayla, Diego, Orion, Nelly, Ashley, Raid, Toby, Kenny, Maiden, Lanaya, Melissa, Jernay, Sanaya, Alicia, Kayla, Brenda, and Imelda. Welcome back to class. The back, the middle of the room, you might be a little crooked right now, but it's okay. Caitlin, Angela, Karen, Esmeralda, Armando, Jonathan, Giovanni, Ulissa, and Jose. Welcome back to class. The back group, I'm gonna scrouch down a little bit here. Leslie and Alexa, Karime, Kyla, Irene and Genesis, Sydney, Jennifer, Alana, Juliana, Samantha, Carmen, and Peyton. Welcome back to class. And that group that sat ever so close and may or may not have gotten spit on at some point, my apologies. Osvaldo, Larry, Odette, and Ronaldo. Brianna, Emily, Ernesto, Nikayla, Christian, Yahira, Shayla, and Suzette, and Carmen, Christian, Mariana, and Julissa. Welcome back to class. So here we are, back in the room. You've sat in and dreaded most things, most days, but I guess this is goodbye of sorts to the school year. It's been a long, interesting, fun road, but we are at the end. And so we have just a few things left to learn before we cap it off. So sit back, relax. Welcome back to class. So here we are, last lesson. We're gonna deal with compound interest, okay? So formula is full of letters, full of things we need to know. This is compound interest. So we know that A is the amount in your account, how much money you have. P is your principal, not like Miss Frazier, but the principal amount invested, or what you start with. So if you put in $100 into a bank account, that's your principal. You have $100 you started with. That's what P would be. R is your annual interest rate. and this is going to be as a decimal. So important there that we know that R needs to be a decimal, not a percent, because we'll see in advertisements, banks always say, oh, 3.95%. Well, we don't want the percent, we want the decimal. N is the number of times per year that interest is compounded. So we want to know how many times per year is that interest compounded. Is it once a year? Is it every month? Is it every week? Is it every day? And the last thing we have then is T, which represents the number of years. So when reading these problems, you may come across some other words, things that will help, or things you need to understand about when we compound them. So when discussing this number of times, this N, there are some words that we need to know. Well, if it's how many times per year, there's some vocabulary we may not understand or need to understand what they're trying to tell us. So number of times per year, annually, semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. And if there's other times, they'll kind of let you know what those are. But those are the big main ones. So let's do an example. Wesley's grandfather is going to give him $3,000 for college. So that's how much money he has to use for college. And he's going to put that in savings. So that's my P. My principal is the $3,000 he gets. So he puts that into a savings account. And he wants to have this compound interest. We know then that this bank account he's going to use is 4% annual interest. So P is 3,000, that's his investment that he starts with. And we know that N is 4%. Since we need that as a decimal, that's going to be 0.04. What we need then is to know how much you will have after 3 years. So T would be our 3 then. How much after 3 years? And they compound it quarterly. So my N is 4. So now we have a P, an R, a T, an N, and we need to find A. So we plug all these things in. So A equals our P, 3,000, times 1 plus my R, which is as a decimal, 0.04, over N, so it's compounded quarterly, 4 times a year, and that parenthesis, raise it to the N, which is 4, T is. We know T is 3. 3 years. We want to know in 3 years what he has. So we literally can plug this into the calculator, and we're going to approximate that the amount he has in 3 years is going to be about $3,380.48. And we would round to the second decimal place because it is money. And we're not going to need that third decimal place when we're talking about values of money.